Hello everyone, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here. We are going to dive right into your reading today. We're actually going to do a Celtic cross. I felt extremely guided to doing a Celtic cross, so we're going to do it here and now. And just a reminder, I am going to be live at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for probably about 20 to 30 minutes for a group prayer session. I have been trying to post something in the community post, and I have not succeeded, obviously. And so if there is something that you would like to be prayed for and you're getting this message before that time, then please just put it in the comments and I'll check them right before I go live. All right, but I'd love to see you guys there. We're just gonna put out a bunch of good juju into the universe and, you know, be a collective together. All right, and always, you know, supporting each other and looking for the highest and best for each other and for all. All right, here we go, guys. Pisces, please, Spirit. You know, Pisces, this is giving me, you know, some of God's greatest gifts are his unanswered prayers. You know, there's something here that didn't work out, I feel like, and it was something that I feel like you felt like you may have had like a good chance with it, or like that it may have been meant for you, or it may have been it's giving me like a red herring. Like, I think this is for me, or like this seems like it is, or it could be, it could work out. Like what I got when I saw this chessboard is I have a 50-50 chance of winning. But then it literally showed me like percents going up and down on both sides, you know, kind of like betting on football or whatever, like in Las Vegas. You know, like how one side will go up and the other side goes down because there's skill level, there's experience, there's the baggage we're bringing to the table, there's the intent, there's, you know, the vision, the plan, the strategy. There's, yes, with the fortune cookie, some things are sort of fated and written in the stars. And even with all of our experience and all of our wisdom and all of this and all of that, we can't always just make something work because, or, you know, we can't always just win because, you know, the truth is, it's like not really revealed what we're up against. Like you don't know until you get there, or you don't know until something, I don't know what this is, but it feels like an old energy. It feels like some place that you're coming from, not going to. So just like, it's some kind of confirmation most likely, or a place to anchor the reading. But it's something that I feel you know what it is more than me sitting here talking about it will be able to tell you. And you know, when windows don't open and doors don't open, that's the universe's way of saying, this isn't your path. This isn't for you. You have a path, and there will be doors open and there will be windows that open, but these are not those. And sometimes as human beings, when we think that's what we want, or our ego is kind of, you know, our pride gets us into all kinds of pursuits that really are not meant for us, you know, where it's like, well, you can't tell me no, or I don't want you to tell me no, or I'm determined. And determination in and of itself is not a bad thing, right? But sometimes it's like what we use that determination for that can be a bit misled, you know what I mean? So anyway, it's kind of like just coming to a place where I'm acknowledging something isn't for me. Or, you know, even if I'm saying it isn't for me, I'm getting like, it could just be right now, you know, like, kind of like, I'm just getting like, I'm taking the hint, okay? I'm taking the hint. I'm backing off. All right. And then you have this building blocks energy. And so it's like, okay, well, I can't work on that. I can't change that. I can't, I just kind of have to listen to what that's telling me right now. I can't keep kind of like beating my head up against a wall or exerting all of this energy to this end when, you know, clearly nothing I'm trying is kind of working. Like I haven't found the magic solution yet. So what can I focus on? And you see, it's like this person is sort of like looking around. On this card, it's like she has her hand over her eyes, like if I'm looking out onto the horizon, and it's kind of giving me this vibe of like, okay, well, what can I do today that is going to pay off tomorrow? Or yeah, like what can I put my energy toward that's going to be productive or that's going to be helpful? And maybe there is, and you know, sometimes when we're disappointed by the way life is turning out or by the results that we're getting, or, you know, it's hard for us to kind of pivot our energy from, I want this, I want this, I want this, to, okay, I'm going to relax on that. I'm going to pull my energy back. And so sometimes it's like the strategy becomes staying busy, you know, applying ourselves in all of these other directions so that we kind of don't think about it, and we maintain a certain level of like productivity. Yeah, and it's kind of giving me like hope or optimism, or like, it's like, well, at least I can fall back on this, you know? But when you have breathe, there's this moment where it's like, all right, you have been exerting a lot of effort. You have been putting a lot of energy toward something here. Sometimes it's important for us to just regroup, rebalance, recenter, find ourselves again. And maybe I don't want to say we have done all that we can do here with the building blocks energy, but it's kind of, it feels almost like a crossroad here. Like, maybe the decisions I'm making at this point have long-term implications, or I'm not totally ready to make a long-term decision about this. Like, and it's just telling me when you get to that point, yes, it's time, like, it's good to take a break. And it's good to reground and recenter and say to ourselves, okay, where am I going? Where do I want to go? Where do I see myself? You know, just take that breath, take that moment, take that time to just I just got reimagine the path. So I don't know what all this totally entails, but we're gonna go further in it. And then you have a leg up, and it's like spirit is guiding you. There are signs, there are synchronicities, there's possibly dreams, possibly, you know, people that come into your life that can help you, or that show an interest in something, or you know, it feels like it feels like we're taking this moment, and there are wagons circling, and all the wagons have like supplies and, you know, good things, good fuel, good opportunities, there's just a lot here. And it's like you kind of need this energy to be able to know, you know, what thing is most important. It's giving me that game Oregon Trail. Did you guys play that in middle school or whatever? And it was like, okay, you have $50 and you're at the supply store. What are you buying? Like, you have to make it 12 days before you're going to get to another store, and that's if nothing goes wrong, and you know what I mean? And then it's like typhoid hits and this and that, you know? And so it's kind of, it's giving me this energy of taking a breath here a moment, because there are a bunch of opportunities coming, and it's like you need to be centered within yourself to be able to sort of choose or decide what is the best decision for you at this time. It's like you may have gone a long time with no doors or windows opening, and now all of a sudden it's just like, oh, like all of these options are coming toward you. It's kind of crazy, but and it's like, I almost feel like you cannot kind of make a bad choice, or there isn't a right choice. It almost feels like a reward for listening here. And it's kind of like, what reward do you want? Like when you go to like Dave and Buster's and you get all those tickets and then you go up to like the prize station. It's like, do you want the Beats headphones or do you want a crap ton of candy? You can't go wrong. Okay. Okay. All right, whatever this is, I'm going to tell you that what I'm picking up on is that if you're dealing, I mean, because I'm just telling you, for some of you, this could have been an intimate relationship. For some of you, this could have been a job or a work, career situation, a family situation. Like, it could be really anything. It's really showing me that. Who you are dealing with, you're not really, it's like, this is why the percentages were going up and down like this. Oh my God, it makes so much sense to me now. Okay, you were not directly dealing with that person, or you were directly dealing with that person, but that person wasn't directly dealing with you, right? Because they had influences. Influences can be, I really care what other people think about me, and so I'm more worried about how this is going to look or appear to these people, or I don't want to let these people down, or I don't want to lose my street credibility with these people, or you know, if I give into this, it's going to, I don't know, reroute history or reroute, it's like everything, the ground will shake. So like, you know, maybe that's like their family or something, where it I feel like it unravels like a whole lot of other things. It's not just, it's like if I admit this, or if I go for this, or if I do this, it undoes, like, you know, maybe it, like, this could be like cultural heritage. This could be like, I don't know what all it could be of, but it's like, you see how this is a solid foundation, and you see how this is like, there's just a hand lightly placed in the center of this board. If anything moves it a little bit off kilter, it's going to disrupt it. The whole thing could fall. Everything could fall. And it's giving me that kind of energy. Okay. And it's like, if I'm like, let's say I actually have a friend like this. I've really taken quite a few steps back from this friend in recent years, but we have like a large friend group, and in that friend group there are other like sub friendships, right? Like everybody. And so the friend I'm talking about has been a friend of my friend that I'm very close to, my subgroup friend, for like 20 years. And I became friends with this person a long time ago, but then became very close to this person. But this person's subcategory friend, okay, is a very intense person who kind of has to have it their own way, and is extremely critical and judgmental of other people, and definitely not someone that I have ever wanted to be close to. Pretty much the antithesis of anyone that I would really bring into my inner circle. And so, but our mutual friend was a really lovely is a really lovely person, and is just really easy to talk to. You can really be yourself around this person. But I, as well as others, found out that, like, in fact, you couldn't be, because she was basically a minion. She was like reporting back to the other friend, and then they together would get together and create their story about who everybody was. And it became kind of cancerous. And my subcategory friend, best, closest person, called that person a chameleon. you know, they were like, that person changes around who they're with or around their situation. And it's like, they come to you like they have all these loyalties to you. I mean, like, there was a point where she was like saying to me, oh, you and this person are my best friends. Like, I would do anything for you, blah, 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 blah. But then she was talking about me to the other friend, and it just like became very clear. Like, it came to the surface. And her behavior toward me was very dependent on her subcategory best friend's vision and viewpoint. And so one day I would be talking to her and I would get this really amazing person who I could completely be myself in front of. And then the next time I would talk to her, I would be getting the Spanish Inquisition with very leading and pointed questions. And it didn't really matter what answer I gave, I was getting projected upon. And it was kind of crazy. And I would realize, oh, you were just talking to your person and this is what they want to know. And I would never dignify them with a conversation. So they're sending you. And it became something that like you had to manage in order to be friends with this friend. And so I really took a step back. But it's like, this is how this is, okay? There's a very heavy, strong influence on whatever the situation is for you that was behind the scenes that maybe you weren't dealing with directly and it wasn't really in your control. And this is why the doors kept shutting and the windows kept shutting, because this wasn't the right scenario. It wasn't the right situation. You were not... It may have been extremely confusing because you thought you were dealing with someone up front, but this person kept being changed by the influences, okay? And like, I'm telling you this story as like people only being involved, but that doesn't have to be the case. It can be limiting belief systems. It can be culture. It can be, it can be other kinds of restrictions where it's like, when I'm with you, I'm going with the flow and I'm feeling it and everything is great. But then when I leave you and I'm reminded that this is the expectation of me, I shut down, or it becomes very cold or very distant or whatever. Spirit is saying here, you're better off. Even if this really hurt you, even if this kind of left you in pieces, you continuing to try to gain favor in this situation or to prove your point or to be heard or to be seen or to remind this person who you are or this situation what you're capable of or whatever it is, it wasn't going to work. It doesn't mean that like what you were trying to do was wrong or anything like that. It just literally means that there was something influencing this situation that made the situation not right. And it made it feel like it was kind of unattainable or out of your grasp. And it's almost like the more you try to explain to someone or the more you keep trying to make something work or you keep trying to be heard or whatever, it's like I feel this drowning feeling. I feel this like getting sucked under feeling. And so here now when I'm seeing this, right? So the percents was like, how much are the influences playing a part at this time? And how much are they not? And so it may seem like you're making progress, but the minute that progress is made and the influence finds out and the influence rears its head, right, then it's pulled back again, okay? And so that's why those percentages were going up and down that I was seeing. Okay, then you have that building blocks, what you do yourself and what you do for yourself and what you do internally, that no one can take away. Bubby Wubs. No, you're so cute. Come here, handsome. Oh, I really hate that they cut the bushes this much, you guys. My lawn people cut the bushes, and now my dog has like this crazy line of sight. Honey, it's okay. No one's coming for me. No one's coming for Grand Dogma. Not today. Not today. We're all safe and good. Okay, my grand dog's instinct is to come and protect me whenever she thinks that we're under threat. My dog goes crazy, like barking. My grand dog comes to like literally protect me. It's interesting because I almost feel like that reaction is sort of related to your reading, because I am feeling it's like, you know, I don't know. There's just this energy of, I need you to remember who I am. I need you to remember, like, I need you to sort of like come back to like what I know, or the progress we were making, or something. And it just feels like quicksand. It just feels like, you know, I keep hoping, I keep trying, I keep manifesting, wishing, you know, trying to stay optimistic about everything. But it's like quicksand. It's not tangible. It never materializes. It slips through my fingers. And this card says intangible, dishonest, and tricky. Okay? And it's interesting, like, I feel like I'm pretty perceptive about people. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. And it's like, I knew what was going on with my friend and her subcategory best friend. Like, I knew it, but a part of me was just like, hoping that she was going to see it. And, you know, trying to not, you know, cut someone that I really appreciated her off, but at the same time, it became an untenable situation, and it literally was, you know, who am I gonna? It got to the point where like I would see her calling me or FaceTiming me, and I'd be like, I just can't answer it. It was very sad. Yeah. See, you guys. Okay. There's this situation with someone or something, some type of situation, okay? And because I keep getting, can be work, can be family, can be another person. So you just have to take it for how it is. With this runner thing, it's this elusive energy. It's this intangible energy. It's like, you know, sometimes it feels like there's progress, or sometimes it feels really good or really solid. And then it's like the next minute it's been influenced, and it just is like quicksand again. There comes a point here where there is some kind of, I'm breaking this off. And then you have the Phoenix, I'm rising again. And this is like all the energy that you've put to yourself into building your life. This is giving me like Eight of Pentacles energy, mastering yourself, mastering your response to this person or to this situation, not letting this thing suck you under or completely own you 100%. It's like all of that is, it's, you know, oh God, it's like, it's tangible progress, right? That is going to serve you. It's going to serve as your very solid, trustworthy foundation for this next period in your life. And, you know, when you look at the Nine of Pentacles, which comes after the Eight of Pentacles, you see there's like a snail in the bottom of the card. And it's like, that snail kind of reminds you of the investment. It's like day after day, I had to continuously show up for myself. I had to continuously invest in myself and my situation. It took as long as it took for me to get through this, or to like get to this place where I'm like single and okay, or I'm feeling fine about myself financially or at work or in whatever realm this is talking about. And I'm not gonna risk that for something that isn't trustworthy, for something that doesn't show up. We understand the value and how hard it was for us to get to this space. So we are very unlikely to put that space in jeopardy, okay? And this is the position in which you are rising. This is, remember how I said, this is like you're regrounding, recentering, you know, asking yourself what's really important to me, like kind of taking a moment to take a breath and sort of just revitalize yourself. This is giving me Eight of Pentacles to the Nine of Pentacles. And then here's kind of your 10 of Pentacles, where the abundance comes in, those wagons circling around you, Yeah, okay, let's do this Celtic cross. Let's see what's going on here. Wow, I split the deck and you have the Magician and the Two of Cups. Something's coming into your life. Some beneficial connection or relationship, I feel. Wow, in the center of your spread, you have the Hermit crossed by the Five of Cups. Wow, with the World on the bottom of the deck. This, you know, we're kind of starting off in this energy where we are by ourselves. Wow, here's the Ten of Pentacles, okay. Confirmation for what I was just saying, I feel like. Wow. Okay. This Ace of Swords came out and the King of Cups kind of flipped, and you have the King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. This is a lot of enlightenment. This is a lot of deep understanding about things. Wow, okay. You guys, there's so much confirmation in this reading of the feelings that I'm getting just in the tarot cards that are coming out. It's kind of tripping me out. You have the Eight of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Pentacles. There's that Magician that I saw on the bottom of the deck there. Man, okay. Whew. Okay, so I'm going to clarify all this as I really dive into this reading, but there is this energy of kind of like being by yourself here. And this is really an energy of you with you. And, you know, when the Hermit is such a really beautiful energy where we have this opportunity, or kind of we make this space in our life to sort of take our energy back, call our energy home, and really sit with ourselves and say, what do I want? What is my clear vision of the future? What am I manifesting? What am I trying to call in here for myself? What is it that I really, really, really want in this moment? And, you know, when we're by ourselves, this is when, you know, our past comes up, and these thoughts of, man, I regret this, I regret that, you know, maybe you stood your ground. I'm using this as an example, okay, but this is like, I almost hesitate to use an example right here because it can be so many things, but I'm going to use this as an example because I feel like examples really illuminate things. God, I love this. This is so much confirmation. I'm literally tripping out right now. Man, oh man, oh man. Okay, whew. When we're by ourselves, and, you know, I mean, this happens to me all the time, right? I try to stay really positive. I try to stay, like, I don't really try to stay positive, right? I try to stay present. And when I am present, I'm generally very positive. But, you know, we all have our history. We all have our past. We all have our things that, you know, sometimes we wonder, did I do the right thing? You know, I would be absolutely lying if I said to you, it has never occurred, it has never come up in my head, did I do the right thing, totally excommunicating my entire family, just for an example. And this could be like, if you kind of gave an ultimatum to someone, or if you know, drew a hard line with someone where you're like, you know, this is what I need from this relationship, and then someone's like, well, I'm not really willing to give that to you, or I can't give that to you, and then you lose the whole thing, and you're like, man, you know, I did really want a commitment from that person, or I did really need more from that person, but I didn't really count on how bad the loss was actually going to feel when it happened. You know, and I kind of thought that maybe it wouldn't happen. I mean, generally when we really care about someone and we think that they really care about us, we think that they're probably at least going to consider, you know, what we need. or want. But sometimes people are limited by their own kind of scenario and conversation and in relationship with themselves, to the point where they can't consider what you need. They can't get beyond what they think they need to even remotely entertain the idea of being what someone else needs. Do you know what I'm saying? And so there's this energy of, did I do the right thing by saying this? Because if I would have just gone along with the status quo, maybe it could have worked, or maybe I wouldn't be without them, or I wouldn't feel this sadness, or I wouldn't feel this heaviness. Like as much as my family was a very difficult, was terrible for me mentally and emotionally, they had their positive sides, and being a part of a clan or a family and being able to have that part of your identity intact is pretty important. I mean, when you abandon ship, it's a pretty very difficult thing. I mean, I feel like you would just not be human if you didn't wonder, did I do the right thing from time to time? But I always come back to, I am better off. I am more authentically able to be myself in every moment, in every situation, away from them and away from that, and I feel so much better about myself and my life and what I have created. And I don't have to deal with constant criticism and judgment, and you know what I mean? And so it's like, I will get back to that place where I'm like, okay, no, I did the only thing that I could do. I did what was right. I really gave it my best shot. I really tried to work it through. I tried to communicate. I tried to, express myself on every level. I wasn't always perfect, right? But I learned through the process, and I grew, and I always at every turn did the best that I could. And so, I come back to that, right? And this is that energy. Remember when I said, sometimes we stay busy because we don't want, it is a bit of an escape, right? Like, we are trying not to delve too deep into the pain of the loss or the sadness from it. But this isn't really an unwillingness or a suppression of something, as much as it's like, I want to turn toward the future. Remember, she's looking out from this place, out toward the horizon. And it's like, I need to consider all the dimensions. Like, I have no control over this dimension, or over this thing, or this relationship, or this circumstance, or this job, or this whatever. I can only, put my work and my focus and my effort and my energy into the things that I can control, which is basically me and my thoughts and my, my maturity and what I'm building for myself personally. And, if this is something that's meant to be, it will come back around again. And that's a very sensible thing, right? But it is acknowledging that what is crossing this situation are these heavy feelings of the past that keep coming up. Well, I've just discovered in my own path, in my own journey, that when those past things come up, it's a gift. It really is a gift, because it's bringing into your conscious mind that you're still hurting from something, or you're still healing from something, or you're still releasing something, you're still letting something go, you're still processing, which is fine, that's okay. But if it's just in your subconscious mind and your conscious mind isn't aware of it, it is having a huge impact on the choices and decisions that you're making without you realizing it. When it comes up in our conscious mind, then we realize, oh, that's still influencing me. That's still affecting me. That past situation, that past pain, I still haven't really resolved it, or it still impacts me. And awareness is the key to everything. I think, the more aware we are of ourselves and who we are and what's influencing us and what's affecting us, And the better our chances of navigating life to the best of our ability, because it's like, I know that's still affecting me. I know, I will, like, when that happens, which actually really doesn't happen very often anymore, but when it does, I will listen to mantras, I will listen to frequency, I will meditate a little bit more, I will do a little bit more yoga, I will visit my garden that I love to go to, I will paint, I will say, you know what, I need a little extra TLC. I need to love myself a little bit harder right now. I need to make promises and keep them to myself. I don't have control over my history or my past or anything, but what I do have control over is this present moment and the way that I'm thinking about and processing these things. And it really helps, because it helps immediately sort of return you to looking toward the future, looking out on this horizon and focusing on what you're building, rather than sinking further and deeper into this Five of Cups energy, which ultimately does lead to depression. Okay. So the Hermit is being clarified by the Empress, which is just beautiful. This time spent by yourself, where you're putting in this work and you're making this important choice over and over and over again for yourself, to invest in yourself. This energy is to your benefit. This is you really mastering yourself with that Eight of Pentacles. It's like, I cannot believe how the tarot just is like confirming all of the feelings and the messages that I'm getting today. But this is where it's like, okay, I'm going to control the things that I can control. I'm going to work on myself. I'm going to work on my life. I'm going to work on every dimension that I can put work into, me with me. And then that is going to become this platform for this next very abundant space in your journey. You have the Eight of Wands here. This can be communication coming in. It can also be, movement forward, where, you don't have a lot of obstacles. You don't have a lot of delays. This is a lot of open windows and doors kind of energy. And it is moving you away from this period of suffering. It is moving you away from whatever this was. And the thing about the Three of Swords, and I keep saying this right now, this card keeps coming out and I keep saying this, or I find myself saying it, is that it's not just the event that happens, it's what we tell ourselves after it that continues this pain. The thing about this is that, this progress, this movement forward, and this energy of healing and rebalancing and centering with that Breathe card and then this Temperance card is a very healthy way of dealing with this. We can't keep our heart from breaking. And to a certain degree, we cannot keep the thoughts from occurring about it that make us doubt or fear things. But we can be the observer. We can be our own antidote. We can be our own cure to the suffering. We can give ourselves what we need. We can give ourselves extra time, extra love. We can ground. We can center. We can breathe. For God's sake, just breathing alone is one of the most incredible things you can do for yourself to heal. Just focusing on your breath, deepening and lengthening your breath, picturing inhaling, healing, peace, calm energy, and exhaling anything that's ready to be let go, conflict, difficulty, pain, suffering, our own thoughts. But we don't have to attach to those thoughts around that suffering. We can just be the observer and let them go and not succumb to the gloom and to the, I messed up, I made a mistake. If you messed up, you learned a lesson. I just don't think that there's anything I don't think you can mess up. This is life. There aren't any rules. Like, you're the universe experiencing itself. What is meant for you will always find its way. My husband and I actually were having this incredible conversation yesterday. We were hanging out, and somebody was cooking for their significant other for the first time. And so I said to my husband, do you remember when I cooked for you for the first time? And he was like, no, I don't. And I was like, what? I mean, I think I'm a pretty good cook. And I remember I made him pesto pasta in my crappy apartment kitchen I had like 12 inches of counter space. And it was not easy. Anyway, I was like, you don't remember? And he's like, no, I can't remember it, to be honest. But it took us down this memory lane of a whole bunch of like, it was like our blooper reel of dating. All the things that went wrong, all the times like one of us messed up, all the times where, like we could have broken up, but we really just didn't want to, we liked each other. And like, it just took us down this hilarious path of us like 30 years ago dating. And it was so funny. And I looked at him and I was like, this is so reassuring. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah, because, if something is meant to be, it will be. Even with all the mess ups, even with all I remember once I was so mad at him. He was supposed to pick me up, and his boss asked him to have a beer after work, and he got really carried away with his boss. His last name was Wild, and that just perfectly describes this guy to a T. He was an unpredictable, wild guy that liked to have a really good time spontaneously. And my husband, who was generally extremely consistent and reliable, also would get swept up in his wildness, as would anybody who was around him, because he was so charismatic and fun and exciting. But I'm sitting there waiting. He hasn't called me. We didn't have cell phones back then. And I was so angry with him. And he showed up, and he was like, I'm so sorry, like this happened. And the boss was also my boss. He was like, also, so was my husband. But anyway, it was just, I don't know, like we just got swept up in this. Like, you cannot make a mistake. You can get so angry or upset or hurt by somebody, but when it is supposed to come together, and when it really is, you cannot mess up, because you just, I don't know. Anyway, this is wild. So what is supporting your spread is the Ten of Pentacles. And this is really, from the moment this card came out, it was giving me like, this is the abundance that is available for you and wants to come into your life. And abundance isn't just money. It is relationships. It is everything, okay? And with you have the Page of Swords in reverse and you have the Moon card, this is your subconscious mind. And this is kind of like awareness. This is sort of like an observer, right, of your thoughts. And when it's the Page of Swords is in reverse and the moon is upright, these are like things that we just generally believe that, or like, I don't even know, they exist in our subconscious. Like, it can be a limiting belief system. It's basically thoughts that don't support the abundance. It's the stuff that's keeping you misaligned from what is meant for you in your own thinking, okay? And remember I said, like, when it comes up into your conscious mind, it's such a gift. And if you can train yourself, I had to train myself. I know it's possible because I did it. I used to, those thoughts would come up and I would just get sucked into this like several day journey into hell and back with my own mind about, well, they said this and I said that, and then this happened and then that happened. You know what I'm saying? And it was so draining and exhausting, and it made me like short with people, and it made me just insecure, and it was impossible for me to be fully present, and it was impossible for me to be authentic when I was really in one of these moments where I was getting sucked into the like, did I mess up? Now, when those thoughts arise, I observe them and I say, oh, I see you. Okay, that must mean that this is still sort of affecting my decisions. This is still serving as a bit of a blockage for what is meant for me or what is trying to come in. And Spirit is giving me this opportunity to become aware of it, to observe it, so that I can let it go. And, you know, all I have to do is say, I recognize you, and then I name it, and then I release it. I consciously release it. I say, wow, thank you for showing me that. I am so grateful. And now I release you. You're no longer serving me. You know, I am opening to abundance. I am, you know, letting go and releasing anything that no longer serves me. You know, I will start saying mantras, because mantras and frequency are very effective with your subconscious mind. They've done plenty of scientific studies that show that. So I turn to that because I know that that is what is going to be in my highest and best good in a moment like that. And I take care of myself in that way. And I choose myself in that way. And every time we choose ourselves, and every time we make the healthy choice, every time, you know, we first of all choose not to go down the path and identify with the feeling and just get sucked into the oblivion of it. Every time we make that choice to just stay clear of that and to be the observer of the thought, and keep our distance from it in a way, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, just not identify with it, not take it on, not let it unpack and stay. That's a choice that's healthy. But then when we even go a step further to find gratitude for that and to consciously release it, and then to consciously sort of take that space up with frequency, with mantra, with whatever works for you. I'm not here to tell you what's going to work for you because we're all different. I couldn't possibly. But if you allow yourself to be intuitively led, you will be intuitively led to the thing that is going to help you if you don't know what the thing is yet. If you just allow yourself to go down the path, you'll find it. But this is why all of these things are happening, right? It is helping you learn yourself and master yourself so that you aren't the thing in your way for what is meant for you, the abundance that wants to be in your life. Yeah, guys, this reading is just, it's all about blockage. Also, I just want to touch base here for a second. You have a lot of Libra energy. You also have Taurus energy, Virgo energy, a lot of fire energy, Scorpio energy, Leo, and Cancer. Pisces and Gemini. In the recent past, you have this energy with the Queen of Wands, the Nine of Cups, and the Death card. And you have the Five of Wands. The Queen of Wands is this energy of not chasing what we want, but manifesting it. You know, just kind of opening ourselves to receiving it, becoming the frequential match for it, for what we desire to come into our lives or to like align with us. You have the Five of Wands and you have the Death card here. The Nine of Cups is, this is our wish. This is our wish fulfillment. This is what we want. This is emotional contentment on our own. And the Death card and the Five of Wands is suggesting that there are things that we have to let go of or cut out of our life that are interfering with this, that are the blockage. Something from the past. You know, this is, it can be, you know, a lot of times when we think of something in hindsight, right, we have a tendency to say, oh, it was so great, it was so good. Like another conversation I had with my husband, we were talking about the 80s and like growing up in the 80s. And he's kind of a little bit older than me, so like our perspectives are different. He actually graduated from high school in the 80s. We talk about like, you know, the fashion, the music, the TV shows that we watch. Like, we only had like 5 channels on our TV for a really long time. Like, cable was invented in our lifetime. You know, we couldn't watch it whenever we wanted. We had to like come in from outside playing at 8 o'clock to watch, you know, whatever show it was. And we were talking about the shows, like we were talking about, oh my God, Airwolf. Do you guys remember that? And Knight Rider. There was like, oh my God, what was the show? I keep wanting to say Magnum, which yeah, Magnum, but like, I want to also say Maverick. MacGyver, that's what I'm talking about. And, you know, we were just talking about like how, you know, you really had to make choices with your time and you couldn't just sort of be sort of lackadaisical about things. You had to kind of know what day it was, what time it was, you know, and make choices about how you were going to spend that time or where you're going to be or what you're going to do. Like, it wasn't like it is now where you just have access to everything all the time and you can just in the middle of the night wake up and just put on whatever. And we were talking about like how, you know, maybe that has influenced things and whatever. But anyway, I don't even remember why I was like talking about this. I went so down this hill trying to find out what MacGyver's name was. It's really hard to think of these things when you're in this space. It hurts your brain. I don't even know how to describe it. But with the Queen of Wands, the Death card, and the 5 of Wands, and the 9 of Cups, I have no idea why I was talking about MacGyver. But you have this energy of just, you know, we can sit here and manifest and try to align with what our wish fulfillment is. But until we kind of get through the blockages, nostalgia. So we were talking about like how good the 80s were, like in so many ways, like it was a simpler time, this and that and the other. But there were a lot of difficulties in the 80s. There were a lot of things that were hard. And, you know, were definitely like more difficult than they are now. And that's like with the nostalgia, it's like when we're looking back and, you know, you start talking about your favorite shows from your childhood and stuff like that, you get this warm, cozy feeling of childhood, you know, and the long days of summer and the pool and the this and the that, you know, and you just start to feel like, oh, wow, you know, it was so good. But, you know, it was just different. It wasn't necessarily better, right? But with nostalgia, and whenever we look back on the past, we get this sort of like, you know, look in our eye, or not look in our eye, like lens that we're looking through, that sort of paints everything with this like golden light, with this like, oh, it was so good, it was so perfect. Like no matter who you talk to, like in the 80s, if you talk to your parents who grew up in the 60s or whatever, you know, they would be like, oh, the 60s were so good. Or weirdly, I've had this very strange relationship with Grease, the show, the play Grease lately. It was so weird. I was eating at a diner with my husband and like, I was like, oh, for some reason, I'm feeling Grease, like the energy of Grease, the play. And he was like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah, it's so funny. I mean, like we are in a diner. And I was like, I wonder when this diner was built. And then we looked at the menu and it said since 1951. And I was like, that's about the time of Grease. And he was like, no, Grease came out in the 70s. And I was like, yeah, it came out in the 70s, but it was about the 50s. And he was like, oh. And then he went up to pay. You have to pay at the register. And I was waiting for a box. And he got up to the register, and all of a sudden, the theme song of Grease came on the radio. It was so weird. And he came running back to the table. He's like, babe, can you hear the music over here? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, do you hear what's playing? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I've never heard that song here. We eat there kind of a bit. And I was like, no, neither have I. And he was like, that is so insane. And we were just leaving it there. And then I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's like, oh, I'm getting ready to go see a production of Grease at this community playhouse. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, this is so weird. In the last 2 days, I've had all of this energy of Grease. And this energy is giving me sort of that thing. It's like we always look back on, the past, and it's like, oh, it was so good. It was so this, it was so that. But like every period of time in history or ever, yes, there were really good things about it, but there were also bad things about it, or tough things, or challenging things, or difficult things. And it's like sometimes the blockage can be that we're not like, it's almost like that we're not being realistic, or that we're not, like, we're convincing ourselves like that's what I want, that bygone time, or that yesteryear, or the way things were made, or the this or the that. Like, we can get so focused on something from the past and making it out to be so good, and forgetting what the struggle or the challenge was at that time, that it becomes a blockage. And it becomes like we're always trying to get back to a period of time that was quote unquote perfect, or was so much better, or whatever, when that truthfully doesn't really exist, or it really wasn't that perfect. And that can become the blockage. Like, that can become where we can't appreciate the present moment, and we can't look to the future and see the beauty of what could become, or even have imagination of, to envision a better thing, a better way, a better anything. Okay. And so it's like, sometimes in order to have true emotional contentment right now, we have to be able to release something that from our past, that even if it seems like, even if it's not, the 5 of Cups, like it's terrible. Maybe it's the 6 of Cups, where it's like, I got my rose-colored glasses on, and I'm thinking that would be so much better. That can be every bit as crippling, and every bit as stagnating, and every bit as blocking as, the past that hurts and is hard. Wow, that was a lot to get there, but like, I feel very free having said that, like having gotten there. Don't know what that means. Crowning your spread is really awesome energy. Okay, talk about awareness. You have the Ace of Swords and the Hangman, and then you have this Magician on the bottom of the deck, which is a mirror image of the Magician on the bottom of the deck for the other spread. And this is clarity. This is, I'm looking back and I'm seeing things clearly, and my perspective has shifted and changed. Maybe if I was looking back on the past with rose-colored glasses, and I was thinking how perfect it was and feeling super nostalgic about it and wanting to get back there, maybe now I'm seeing it more clearly. Maybe now I'm understanding that even having that attitude about the past may have been a blockage for me, or may have been crippling or stagnating for me. Maybe, what really needed to happen is that I needed to release that idea, or release that thought, or just allow myself to see more completely the picture, that it wasn't perfect, that it had its flaws too. And then, with this Ace of Swords this is also giving me, you know, kind of developing a new vision or a new sense of clarity about, you know, with the Hermit and the Empress underneath it and the Ten of Pentacles underneath that. It's like what my idea of abundance is, what my idea of like things kind of working out perfectly, or how do I even want to say it? This is just a you with you thing, you know? Maybe it's like, I always thought very specifically it would be having success in this area, you know? And then the money that would come from that, or the reward that would come from having that particular success. And now I'm realizing that, Bubby, like that was part of the problem, is that, you know, I sort of pigeonholed myself, or I sort of kind of got so hyper-focused on one thing working out that, you know, I couldn't see the other things that were working out, or that were kind of beautiful or perfect, or were actually abundant in the present moment, because I was so focused on maybe the past, maybe something else being better, or something else being more, or something else being what I wanted, and I couldn't see that what was meant for me and what was trying to come in was so perfect and so beautiful and so offered me so much. And now that it's coming through very clearly, this is empowering me. This is showing me that I do have all the tools, and that I can do this, and that, you know, maybe not all of it is in my control, but man, I am a very powerful being, and a lot more of it is in my control, or is within the scope of my influence than I was giving myself credit for. All right, I normally do not take giant chunks like this when they fall out like that, but we're clarifying the High Priestess. You know, this is in the near future. In Pisces, there's a definite story there about kind of confronting our own limited belief system. You guys are getting a lot of eights here. You had the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands in the beginning. Now you have 3 eights in this falling out. You have the Eight of Swords, the Eight of Cups, and the Strength card here. And this really, you know, kind of succinctly is having your awareness brought to your own limiting beliefs, or the things that exist within you that are barriers or blockages toward you kind of being in your highest and best. Sometimes it can even be not listening to your intuition. We get an idea in our head sometimes of what would be perfect, or what we want, or what we even think we need in order to be happy. And it can blind us from the messages that are trying to come through to show us that everything we need is right here, right now, in this moment. And this is definitely freedom from, look at this, you guys, I just want to point out, like, this whole thing in the beginning was like 8, 9, 10 of Pentacles. You've had the 8 of Pentacles twice. You have the 9 of Pentacles here. You have the 10 of Pentacles here. I mean, like, this definitely is somebody's message. I'm just telling you. I don't know. I hope I'm delivering it all right. I know I'm getting kind of on tangents, but hopefully it's coming through. This is just a story of really leaving behind our limited belief systems and our self-defeating thoughts, and sort of accepting ourselves as someone who is quite capable, and who also in this very moment has tons of abundance, you know, has has, put the work and effort in to build a foundation that they can move from and that they can attract from and become a frequential match from that space. With the Four of Cups and the Five of Swords, this is like that. It's like stinking thinking. It's like, oh, the universe doesn't deliver for me. I'm never satisfied. I never get the win. I'm always the person that does all the work and deserves this or that, but I don't ever get it. Or why doesn't the universe, like my friends all have found their soulmates. Like, why haven't I? Like, why am I always getting passed over by the universe? The Five of Swords and the Four of Cups is like that. And it's like, you aren't, and you haven't. It is right in front of your face, and it's like, I'm literally getting, it is about to get real, Pisces. Like, you're about to be surrounded by that circle of wagons with all this abundance, and it's kind of like, you can't make a bad decision. It's like the universe isn't letting you think that way anymore. The universe is not okay with that. The universe is like, no, you have to have the presence of mind to see what is in front of you and to, not compare it to what once was or what you thought you wanted or what your expectation was or what your neighbor has or what your best friend has or what your sister has or what your parents had. You have to erase all that. And you have to tell yourself, like, what is for me is different and is my own. And you have to listen to your intuition and not, allow what you think you want or what you think you should have had or what you think is better than what you have or what other people are saying or what society is projecting or whatever. It's like, it is really just coming into alignment with what is and realizing the abundance of the space you're in. And it's literally showing me even recognizing you with you, like what you've built for yourself. Like, it's good. You're almost there. This is coming in the near future. You have the Devil on the bottom of the deck. This is our fear and illusions holding us back, not opening us up to the flow of the generosity of the universe that is trying to come in. The happiness and the generosity. Oh, wow. Guys, you have the Six of Cups in reverse with the Five of Wands coming out kind of sideways with the Seven of Swords. And this is like, like it would be your person, your job, whatever this past situation is that wasn't for you. That's what we're talking about in this position. There's a lot of trickery around this. There's a lot of deception. And I do, for a lot of you, get the sense that the deception originates from that situation. But wow, okay, whoa. Like 3 things hit me cataclysmically all at the same time. One thing is that sometimes something will only let you see it in a certain way because it always wants you to want to come back to it or to want it or to desire it. So it won't let you see it, the good and the bad. It will only let you see the good. And so you're like, oh no, that's perfect. So it's deceptive in that way. Like it's showing me nothing is all good. Everything is a duality. Everything has both sides. Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. Nothing in the universe is perfect. It's showing me that, like, it's giving me that emphatically. And so if something leads you to believe that it's only good, or that it's the only way, or that it's the only thing, immediately reject it. It's just showing me, immediately reject it. Because the one thing you know for sure is that this is a universe of duality. And it is about balance. And nothing, you don't want to spend your energy searching for what's wrong. Like, it's showing me that's engaging in an energy in the wrong way. And it's a dangerous slope, because then you're always looking for what's wrong in a situation. It's not about that. It's about accepting that anything, no matter how good it looks, has the opposite energy as well. It's a duality. Nothing exists in one thing, in one way. And when something tries to make you believe that it is one thing, you have to immediately reject it. It's like it just keeps giving me that. You have to immediately know that it's not, okay, rejecting seems like an action. This is saying it's just observing it and knowing that you don't know everything, that it's not showing you the full picture, because another side of it exists. And it's just in knowing that other part exists. You don't have to actually see that thing. It's not about not trusting anything ever. That's not it. When something is meant to be, you know that it's like yin and yang. You know that there is good in the bad, and that there's bad in the good, or there's light in the dark, and there's dark in the light. You know that. When you start to believe that something is the light, or just the light, it's like there has to be a default setting that says there's dark in that light. It not in a way of like, I can't trust it. That's just the law of the universe. Everything is like that. And it's okay that it's like that. It's in being able to navigate spaces truthfully and realistically, not getting swept up in something that is going to block you or keep you stagnant or stuck. We're not meant to be stagnant or stuck. And sometimes when we think something is perfect, or we think something is it's the thing, we can get so focused on that, or having that, or wanting that, but it's literally showing me the devil card. It's literally showing me the devil card. It's like, that's how the devil appears. Like temptation. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. I don't like talking about the devil. Okay. What you're bringing to the situation is this gorgeous Eight of Pentacles energy. Pisces, you've done the work. You sure have. You have this foundation, this solid foundation. You've done a lot of work to master yourself. And, this entire thing, whatever this was that wasn't for you, it actually brought you to this place. Like, it was the catalyst for this self-development. And it provided the opportunity for you to master yourself. And this I'm seeing as huge. Like light bulbs and fireworks and fireflies and everything that lights up. And it's bringing you to this place where you can truly have emotional contentment with another person, in a balanced, successful, harmonious, healthy way. With the Knight of Pentacles, it's like, Pisces, this journey has not been easy. This journey has been slow, and it has been difficult, and you have had to trudge through it. You have had to make the decision day after day to put one foot in front of the other. and to just keep going toward the horizon, you know, toward what you could control. Like, just, you had to keep marching on. And this is also giving me, like, what is this when the saints come marching in? That's what I hear. Jeez Louise, I've not heard that in a long, long time. It's like, here it comes. Like, literally, it's like the succession of choices and decisions that you have made to support yourself and to choose to better yourself and to master yourself and to focus on the things that you could control. It's bringing you to this place where you have so many options, where you have so many opportunities, where there's a lot of choices for you to make, as far as what path do you want to take. Okay, this reading is so different than what I was anticipating. I don't know. Like, you should never anticipate a reading. I also know that. Oh my God. Help us all. And now you have 2 7s coming out right here. Lord have mercy. No, 3 7s. Okay, it was showing me 777. Jackpot energy. The Chariot is a 7. So you do have 777. Wow. Oh my God. This is crazy. This reading is off the chain. I don't even know. Okay. This is our fears and our hopes. Okay. And you know, the 7 of Cups, it can basically just straight up mean fear and illusion. The 7 of Swords can be a misalignment within ourselves. It can be deception. It can be trickery. It can be our fear of being misled or our fear of going the wrong way. And our hope here with the Chariot energy is kind of like, listen, I just want to be able to stay balanced. I'd like to maybe meet a partner or have, you know, a solid and stable relationship with someone who can match me stride for stride and move toward the finish line successfully. And, you know, I don't want to get tricked into thinking that something is that isn't that. I don't want to be misled. I don't want to kind of choose the wrong option or get swept away in the fantasy of what someone could be or what something could be. Wow. But I want this. You know, I want this for myself. I want to ride off to the sunset with a partner who's equally yoked. Your best possible outcome is the Strength card with the 2 of Swords in reverse and the 10 of Wands upright. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, so, you know, the Strength card in its shadow energy can be resistance and restriction and holding back, you know? And in its light, honey, guys, hey, you've been very good. Yes, you have. No, girlfriend. Let me see. You guys want one of these? Look what I have. Bhakti. Oh, does Grand Dogma have the best treats or what? in its light side, it is having the confidence to show up for yourself, your life, your highest and best. It is also overcoming our lower vibrational tendencies that would hold us back from being able to show up in that place, right? And you have the Two of Swords in reverse, which is, you know, this is your opportunity to, like, you know, I kind of want to say, like, let your guard down, or really go for it. With the 10 of Wands on the bottom of the deck, this is closing out what has been a very burdensome cycle for you, where the doors have been closed and the windows have been closed and nothing has opened, and it's been like, why? Well, these are the blockages, these are the barriers, and this is like saying, no more. This is a release of stagnancy and getting out of our own head and not being our own problem, and releasing all of the burdens that we have held on to or carried that have prevented us from being able to open up to something new. And, you know, with the Magician, you have the Emperor underneath the 10 of Wands, and then you have the Magician on the bottom of the deck. It's just, this is all about taking control, taking our charge back, you know, taking control of our life back, taking charge of our life, making the decisions that are really in our highest and best repeatedly. When you continuously make the decisions that are in your highest and best, your life changes dramatically quickly. You know, the Emperor, it's not even like I think anything is possible for myself. The Emperor is like, everything is possible for me. I'm the fucking Emperor. Who's going to tell me no? Of course I can do it. Of course I can have it. You know, it's not this Four of Cups, Five of Swords energy where it's like, poor me. Why does the universe always pass me by? Why is everybody else getting their needs met and their dreams come true, but I'm not? No, the Emperor's like, are you going to tell me no? Who do you think you are? I'm the damn Emperor. You can't tell me no. All I got to do is release the burdens that stand between me and this energy, that stand between me and my highest and best and my potential. And a lot of it really is kind of trying to protect ourselves and, you know, not seeing sometimes the abundance that's right there, or always looking in a different direction and being like, well, that's what I want, or that, you know, comparing like all of that energy, looking to our past, thinking our past was better. Like it's looking anywhere else than where you are right now, right here, and saying, I wish that, or, well, that's better than this, or, you know, comparison is the thief of joy. Look at where you are right now and think about everything that's good about it. Look at all the positives, everything that you can find to be grateful. Just start down that path and see where it takes you. Because this right here is just, it's all about releasing our own restrictions and our own blockages and opening up to everything that wants to come in. And it's clearly a very powerful relationship. And I feel like it's also like, it could be just a relationship. And I say just because there's no just when it comes to that, in my world, which is why I do this. But it's also about, I think it can be material abundance or some kind of, it could be, I mean, maybe you're going to start your own business with the Emperor and the 10 of Pentacles. It's taking your power back and living your life to the fullest here. There's definitely some kind of opportunity. I don't know if you guys know who the Wolfman Experience is. He's a tarot card reader on YouTube. I absolutely adore him. He is like motorcycling his way through like South America. He's traveling all over the world. You can follow him on YouTube. He has the Wolfman Experience, but then he has another channel that is like his motorcycle experiences, and he's kind of hysterical. I love him. And he literally posted on Instagram today that you know, he wakes up every day and is like, man, like I keep waking up realizing that I'm like living the dream or something like that. And he's living his life to the fullest. And he's loving it. And like he has been to every corner of this world in the last year or so that I've seen him in Dubai. I've seen him all over motorcycling from, you know, North America to South America, like all over the place. And he's in the moment and he's doing it. And it's so inspiring, and it's so like, it just makes you feel like, yeah, I could do more. Yeah, you know, there's just so much to see and so much to do, and like, where do I want to be and what do I want to do? Like, you got this one life, like, go get it, go live it. But anyway, yeah, I don't know, Pisces, that's like kind of this energy that I am getting here. There's like a major opportunity to close out a cycle and let something go, release something, set yourself free from something, or the idea of something, or a limiting belief, or, you know, a job that's not working for you, or something here, where it's like you keep trying, or you did keep trying for a long time to make someone see you or understand you or something, and it's like, you know, doing that, people only see what they want to see, you know. If they're not seeing it, they're not gonna. Okay, if you're dealing with a water sign, I just need more time. I had no idea you would end up meaning so much to me. You deserve more. I am working on myself, and I am overthinking everything. Okay. And then you have, I want to be vulnerable with you. If you're dealing with a fire sign, passion, blocking, twin flames. I am still moved by you. If you're dealing with an earth sign, you have your words speak to me like no others can. I am overcoming my fears, good intentions, guilt, wishy-washy, and if I had only known then what I know now. And then you have, if you're dealing with an air sign, old flames. I am afraid to trust. You will always be my secret love. I am sorry I triggered you. You give me so much to look forward to, and cold. All right, guys, this is what I have for you. I really hope that it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and clarity. If it does, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. If you are seeing this in time to give me a message about anything that you would like prayed for, you know, if like many people show up, which unfortunately I haven't been able to do it to the best of its ability or what I wanted to do it to, you know, like being able to give notice, but you can put a comment in the comment section, and we will try to include that in our prayer session, okay? All right, this is what I have for you. I really hope it helps. Until next time, guys, I send you off with all my very best. Always, always, always. Bye-bye.